We're going. Hey.
Yeah, my mom.
All
I
right.
love water.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope it went in. I hope my thing still says mirror my image. Topic.
I hope when my map starts talking to me, you guys can't hear it.
That's okay. If we can, it's okay.
Even we can.
We'll start laughing and stuff. I don't know what I hope it says hello, hi. I hope my live still says boundaries and not. Oh, what was that?
It says join now as a moderator.
Did you guys see? Did you guys see the necklace? What was that? What was the thing that just came up? A necklace. Oh, thank you.
So somebody sent you a gift already.
That's wonderful. Hey, you guys, can you let me know?
Did you guys see your necklace?
Right. You guys, can you let me know whether or not I changed it to boundaries? Let me know if it still says mental health when you come into the live and when you see it. Hi, everybody.
It says join now as a moderator.
What says join now as a moderator?
That's the title. Join now as a moderator.
Oh no. Well, I don't know how to fix that. I'm sorry.
I don't think you can fix it once you're already in the live.
I don't know why. I don't know why it's saying join now as a moderator. Hey, oh, thank you.
Make it rain. Ow.
You guys, I am so sorry that it says join now a moderator. I don't know why. And I'm sorry, and I'm not going to back off, but hello, hi. It says join now as a moderator. That is so sad. I'm sorry. I gotta log off and log back in. Okay, everybody.
I said work drive for a long time.
Oh my god!
Drive to work.
You guys are awesome. See, now I don't want to log off and log back in. So okay, wow. You guys are sweet already. Thank you. Amazing. Okay, so we are going to. Okay, some things are happening. Okay,
girl,
we go work with it. I just saw sunglasses on my face. Those
are the new gifts. Those are the. You don't know about the new gifts.
That's what it is. All right,
the new gifts are amazing.
Okay, all right. I was like, what is going on? What are we doing here? Okay. I'm loving it though. I'm here for it. Am I mirroring my video? There it is. Does it say? I can see. Yeah. Here we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Okay, so I got people coming in already acting up with the gifts. I really appreciate you guys. You know you don't have to. I do apologize. It's supposed to say boundaries because that's what we're talking about today. So hopefully you guys went by my page so you can see that we are talking about boundaries. And so we're going to get right into it because one of my, my panelists and show producer keeps me on time. We ain't gonna say that. Nikki. Okay, so first, you guys, I want to welcome to the panel, and you will be seeing her again because I am trying to show so much love. So you guys, please give it up and say what's up to Twisted Skittles. Hey, Skittles. Look, and look, as women, we are always on the go. So yes, you can see her strapped in the car. She's rolling with us, but she is here and we're going to be talking about boundaries. So we are going to get right into it, you guys, because, when things happen with us and when things happen with the family, we want to talk about it because it becomes a topic of conversation. So we're going to jump right into it. And this is a two-part, you guys. So at 8:50, we're going to be switching up the panel. So we're going to be switching up the focus. So right now we're talking about boundaries. And we're talking about boundaries when it relates to relationships and family. So Nikki, I'm gonna start with you. Boundaries first, ladies. I just want you to tell me if they're important. Like some people are like, I have no limits, no rules, no lines. So Nikki, boundaries important? Yes or no? And why? And what kind?
Boundaries are definitely important. You have to be able to protect your own energy. You have to be able to take care of yourself. So with that, it's a matter of making sure that personal self-care is always there. Mm-hmm. If you don't set boundaries, people will do anything and everything It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And it's a matter of making sure that you are setting those boundaries so that people know and understand what they can and cannot do. Just an example that is small, and it's definitely one, and Lord have mercy, HR, everybody be on there. But even when it comes to just the work environment and things like that, you got to know what you can and cannot say, and can, like, it should be that same scenario professionally in your personal life.
Okay. So, Kat?
I agree. You definitely have to have boundaries in any relationship or situation that you're in, because what other people's limits are may not be the same exact thing as you. So their actions may push your limits, whereas to them, they think it's okay. So I think setting up those boundaries makes your relationship a little bit more cohesive. So they are a must.
Skittles? Because we're going to get into each one of them, you guys. But Skittles, boundaries. And how you feel about them? How important are they?
Absolutely. They are a must-have. Like Nikki said, if you don't have them, people are going to run all over you. I've dealt with it. I've fixed it. And then once you set those boundaries, after people are used to you not having them, they get a little irritated that you put those in place.
Facts. So we're going to, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
Okay. And Trini, last but not least, Trini Queen. Boundaries. Did we lose her? You are muted, Trini. We might have lost her for a second. All right. So we're going to jump right into the first one. So I want to talk about family because, Nikki, you and I talk all the time. And it's like, I think all of us, for those of us who still have them, are very close with their mothers and love their mothers. But I will tell you, me and my mom have a wonderful relationship. Let me tell you when the boundaries start to blur for me, and then Nikki, you could jump in and we'll just keep going. Once I had my daughter, it was like, okay, I'm raising my daughter and I'm trying to, get her to do certain things, and I want her to have certain things, and I want her to do certain things. And my mom was like, no, you need to do this. And I understand that she like raised me, and I think I turned out okay. But it was like, for me, that's when I started to pay attention to the fact that with family, I have boundaries. It's like, okay, you are the grandma. I love you to death, mommy. But there are certain things that I feel like when it comes to like disciplining Kelsey. My mom used to get mad at me when I was at her house and I would fuss at Kelsey or say, I'm going to spank those legs. And my mother would say, oh, you're not going to spank her at my house. And then that's why I would have to gather my stuff and go home. And then she would call me, you better not spank that girl. And I was looking around like, this is my house. Like, whoa, I love you. And I would not say that to my mom. I would just be like, okay, mommy, I gotta go because I need to talk to Kelsey. But it's like, I think our moms always look at us, and we always look at our kids like, you still my baby. So when it comes to moms and family, Nikki, I know we've discussed it. Like, let's talk about those boundaries when it comes to family, because I think families think that it's okay because you're related.
Family definitely thinks it's okay because you're related. Family also looks at things where it's something that I personally had to go through with one of my.
No! Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, you guys.
I am.
Nikki, I'm sorry. Hold on. It went out on me. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to get them back.
Technical difficulties. See, if this was like, we would normally just go to commercial break, but we don't have commercials. So.
We don't.
Oh, wait, I don't think they can hear me. They can't hear me. Oh,
yes, they can.
Shut up.
They can hear you. They can hear you.
Oh, they can still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. We would have gone to commercial break.
Yeah, the TV just went off. I don't know why. I don't think it's on a timer. It just, okay. Well, there you go. Hi, everybody. And we're back.
So, I have a younger cousin, and she definitely, we're two different people completely, but I love that girl to death.
Mm-hmm.
it was always she and I. We were, of the girls, we were the youngest of the cousins. So our grandmother always, she catered to us a lot and all of that. So we were together a lot. Yeah, but you can't take advantage of my kindness.
Right.
When it comes to you. I'm only going to let you get away with stuff for so long. Watch your tone when you speak to me. Watch your tone when you speak to my mother. There's a lot of things that I finally was like, I have to cut it off. Now, my mom actually was like, she's not happy about the fact that I had made that cut. But that is something that I'm like, just because we're blood doesn't mean that I can love you from a distance. I don't want anything to ever happen to you. It has even come though to it used to be, if you need something, you call me. Don't call me.
Ooh.
Don't call me.
Wow.
But you have to make those separations. There's so many different ways that things like that come out. Family is probably one of the hardest relationships to set those boundaries with. And it's partially because it comes out of obligation. And I had to start to realize that your family is not going to necessarily respect you more than your friends, to the point where I had friends who, that's my sister, that's my brother, period. People who know me don't understand. I've had coworkers who have said to me, I'm like, yes, this is my sister Tina. Oh, wow. Y'all look alike. No, we don't.
Oh.
We don't. We don't. It's okay. It's okay. But that's the thing where it's like my family, my friends are my family who I've chosen. Okay. We just happen to be related. So it's a boundary situation that I've realized you have to be able to set for yourself, because you cannot your family will wear you out and wear you down if you allow it. And you have to realize that you don't have to do that. It's not an obligation, especially if that love is not reciprocated. That's, I think, what makes it hard. And you have to understand that. And I had to do that. And you're going to make some people mad. You're going to make some people mad when it comes to family.
Okay. And now I know, like, you guys, like with Kat, I know we talk about different lifestyles and things like that. And I think that, especially being on social media, which we're going to talk about in the second half, people see, like right now, I love your beautiful collar, and I understand the significance behind the collar. But when you have friends that understand the significance of it, but then they go right in, like asking questions, or go right in making jokes, or go right in, asking you certain things. So I kind of want to talk about that, because people will understand will try to understand who you are, and then test those boundaries.
For me, I don't get too much backlash about my collar. People more likely ask questions, and I try to stay very general when it comes to it. I just say it's a symbol of my relationship and a bond that I have with someone. It's a symbol of, yes, submission, but when it comes to our relationship dynamics, it's not only about, sexual activities. It's about holding each other accountable, being like best friends, being able to keep each other's secrets, being able to trust each other with certain areas of our lives, and just it's just about a bond. So for me, the collar is a symbol, like it's like a promise ring. Like I promise I'm going to be accountable and do the things that I say I'm going to do, and you promise to me that you're going to protect me. Okay. So that's what the collar is about. If people push boundaries, or I've had people approach me and say something about my collar, I just say my relationship is none of your business. If they want to come at me disrespectfully, and I move on. I don't let it bother me, because in my mind, that's a boundary that I have set in my head. I'm not going to worry about anybody's judgment or anybody's thoughts about me. As long as I know what my relationship is with my significant other, it is what it is.
So, and Skittles, you're there. So, like, when we're talking about, like, we all became friends on this app. and it wasn't just a, hey, all right, we're besties. It was like when we think about when you're inviting someone into your space. So when you're friends. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about relationships, you guys, when it comes to friendships, or even no, actually it is relationships. I'm so sorry. When it comes to relationships and you're starting out, and say you meet somebody for the first time. So you're in a group setting and you're out. Like, when someone first meets you, what is that standard thing? What is it that, like, are you do you exchange numbers with people? Be it, like, say your best friend comes and it's a bunch of people that hangs with your best friend. And a lot of people think that, because that's your best friend's bestie, that all of a sudden now we're besties. Like, what are those things that you look for, and what are those things that you set up immediately when you're meeting people for the first time?
Going from the first time I'm around people, like, I 100% go off of vibes. And if somebody gives me any bad vibes, I put up a boundary. I don't let them close. If they're pushy, I am such a big person on don't push me. Mm-hmm. That's one of my personal boundaries that I have. So as far as, like, meeting people and them wanting immediately in, so to speak, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. I've gone through so much that I don't just let people in. I guess my boundary is, in that aspect, is somewhat like this little fence, and you've got to be able to get over that fence to come in. And until you can prove that you're somebody I can let in, mm-hmm. you're not coming in. I've set that boundary and I'm keeping you away because I don't know you.
And Amanda just said in the chat that you have people that automatically think you're toxic because you stand off and you have those boundaries. And I think that we throw things around like friendships and relationships. Go ahead.
100% agree with that. I'm a very bubbly, happy people person, but I have definitely been told that I can have some RBF. If I don't know you, I can come off a little harsh. So I would definitely agree with that people can have the misunderstanding of who you are when you really aren't. You're just protecting yourself.
So what's a no for you? Like, I have like what is a no when it comes to just relationships, even family? And we'll talk about at the house. Like, my thing is, don't overstay your welcome. That is like, okay, it's cool, you come to the space, I invite you, that's cool, we can hang out for a long time, but there is a boundary for me, is like, know when it's time to go home, or know when it's time to leave, like, or know when.
Biggest boundary?
Huh?
One of my biggest boundaries is going back to kind of what you were saying about parenting. If somebody tries to tell me how to parent my child, we're going to have some problems. I actually, similar situation, my dad tried to mouth off, and I love my dad, I'm a daddy's girl, but if you're going to sit there and talk and say something negative about my children or about how I'm raising them, I got up and I left. Mm-hmm. And that's the first time I've ever been mad at my dad, and it was of setting that boundary. It was him having to learn that that's not okay.
Anybody else?
I agree. I have the same boundary that I had to learn to put up with. My mom is very opinionated, and so, it's her way is the only way how to do things. And so it was actually my dad who came to me and was like, man, you gotta tell your mom to sit down. So I had to learn to put that boundary up and, let her know if she has an opinion about how I raise my kids are fed, they're provided for, they're not being abused. So, I don't need you to interject unless I ask for your advice. So putting that boundary up there, or even people telling me I have to pick up the phone. I don't have to pick up my phone if I don't want to, even if you're my family. If I'm spending time with my kids and I say I'm going to spend this 2 hours with my kids and I'm not answering the phone, I'm not answering the phone. You know, so I think those boundaries are important to protect your own energy too, and yourself, and allowing you to be who you are in your own role.
Mm-hmm. That's like when you talked about I have to pick up my phone, family members that are like, when are you getting married? Why aren't you dating? Mm-hmm. Like, why? Like, I have this person, or they always want to either hook you up with friends because they don't think you have enough friends, or they want to hook you up with a guy or a girl because they're like, oh, you know, this person would be great. And then it's like, I don't understand where that comes from sometimes, because it's like, I let me be perfectly okay. Go ahead.
It's none of their business. I can't handle that.
Yeah.
And it is something that has to be realized, that it's out of love and it's out of concern for you. Mm-hmm. But please understand that if I'm dealing with my own situation, allow me to deal with my situation. Like Kat said, if I didn't come to you like I need help, mm-hmm. that means I don't need your help. A lot of things, when it even comes to situations with the boundaries with family, is understanding when to say no. That, I think, is something that is the thing, because so many, and this is something that I do actually talk to my mom about, because my mom's the fixer in mm-hmm. our hierarchy of family.
Okay.
But she has, it wears her down, I feel like, to the point where then she's resentful, it mm-hmm. feels like, because it's like, oh, Adrian always has to fix it. And for me, I'm like, Mom, but you don't have to fix it. You don't. And I feel like, to me, it's an example of not having the boundaries. And I think that some people maybe, and it's just like a small light bulb that went off in my head, that maybe some people see having boundaries to protect yourself feels selfish, like you're not willing to do things for other people, and that's not true at all. You have to still take care of yourself. Like, you cannot allow yourself to be disrespected in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. I don't have children, but I have my mother, who I refuse to let somebody come sideways at her. I will throw a brick in your face.
I remember a nurse at the hospital. There was a nurse at the hospital that wanted to put an IV in my mom's neck. A boundary for me, like you don't mess with my mom. And she just kind of looked at me, and I just kind of moved in the middle of my mom and this nurse. So to me, boundaries aren't only to protect yourself, but sometimes to protect the people around you.
It
Facts.
definitely is.
Yes.
Definitely
yes.
is. And a lot of times, I think that's a part of it, like, to me, when it comes to the family dynamic with things like that, it makes it very interesting, because the boundaries, everybody has their own. Whether you know what they are specifically, that you can understand your own triggers mm-hmm. or not, everybody has that one thing. Like, don't talk to me sideways. Do not say something to me that is demeaning. Don't do that, because it's going to be a problem. I'm the sweetest, most nurturing, amazing person in the world, I think. When it comes to like things like that, like, I want to make sure everybody's okay all the time. I always got your back. Mm-hmm. I always got your back until that you hit your limit.
But you know, and that's crazy, because in 2021, people feel like they can say whatever they want to say to you. Like, if you're out in public and you have your kid, or you're out in public with your friend, and I know, and it's not just, I know everybody's talking about the Karens and the Kevins, but it's not just the Karen and the Kevins, because you can be out just minding your business, sitting at a park, and someone will come up like, well, you know, you shouldn't be sitting on this side of the park. park, or you really shouldn't be wearing that to the park because there are people here, and you know, like, what made you wear that? Especially like you know, I love my black girl earrings and things like that, and I have some earrings that say I am black excellence. And some people won't say anything, but some people are like, oh, does that mean that, you know, only black is excellent? Or things like that. It's like, tell me about a time, you guys, when that boundary was definitely crossed, whether it was in public, family member, relationship, a time when you were like, okay, that's it. It's clear. It's set. You should have known better, and you didn't.
That's a hard one with me. I was actually in an abusive relationship, and I was told I could not make eye contact with any male whatsoever, no matter where we were. And I realized at that point that that was a boundary I had. I am such a people person, you're not going to stop that part of me.
So wait, you were told not to make eye contact with, like, please explain that. Why? Where'd that come from?
Because it invites conversation, and I was not allowed to talk to anybody of the opposite gender. Any male, whether it be grocery store, whatever, you don't make eye contact, is what I was told.
Okay.
And to me, I was raised as eye contact is part of your communication. It's part of a level of respect when you're having a conversation or you're interacting with somebody. So for someone to come along and say, don't do that, and to know that there were going to be repercussions if I did it, was a huge boundary line for me, and was one of the initiating factors of me realizing that I needed to get out.
Okay, so all right, because just somebody just said it was and he was insecure. Somebody, Asia just said in the comments, like, that was signs of an abusive relationship, and when that boundary was crossed, you realized
100%.
that you realized it was time to get out. Okay, and it's just like
100%.
It's the same thing with family members. It's like, if you constantly have to, if you constantly cross the line, you're constantly telling me how to raise my kid, or constantly asking me about my relationship, or constantly coming in my house and rearranging it, and like all those different kind of things that I don't understand why people don't get it. Why there's this sense of, okay, I'm going too far. I don't know where that stems from. I know that Fry King just said he's had people cross boundaries when it came to mental health, just taking it too far because they knew that it would get to them. Now, have you guys ever run into somebody that intentionally was crossing boundaries just to get a rise out of you?
I could say definitely with one of my children's fathers. They count as family, right? Kind of. He will cross boundaries any chance that he gets. Or say something anytime he wants to. Like, you know, can I come spend the night? No, fool. What do you need to spend the night for? You know what I mean? So I have boundaries in that relationship. Definitely, like, his the energy that's given off, because I think I told you before, is kind of dealing with the narcissistic personality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are good things about our relationship, but then there's definitely things where I had to say no. Like, you can't come in my house because you don't respect my boundaries. So our boundary is, you can meet me at the door, but you don't step foot in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not allowed to have an opinion or know certain things about me because you're going to come at me negatively. Even if you say you're trying to help me, I don't feel comfortable letting you know those things. So even boundaries and those types of relationships are important to me too.
Manco, what I was saying was, you made a comment that was really good. You were talking about the broad spectrum, and I wanted you to say more about that. But Kat, there, when you have people who feel like, well, let me ask you, do you feel like once family or you're in a relationship, people feel like because I'm connected to you now and because we're connected by blood?
Some storm.
Oh, am I? Still? Better?
Sorry, you went out. Yeah, it's better.
Okay,
what
better.
Did you say?
I was saying, I don't know. Did you guys hear me what I said? Okay, what I was saying is, do you find that people, once you're connected, like blood, once you're connected, you know, there's like, oh, you're family, I can do that to you. Or, oh, you know, we're in a relationship and I can do that to you. You know, the boundaries that you set up, whatever you set up before, it's okay because I have that right to step over. Just like you said, the whole spend the night thing, we're super grown. There is no more spend the night. What is that? That's when you were kids. That's when you were younger. No. We're not doing that. But do you find that, and anybody on the panel, do you find that when people get comfortable with you, they tend to forget about the boundaries?
They do. Definitely. They feel like they have the right to do whatever or push those limits. And I think it's our job to tell them, no, that boundary is there. You can't cross it. And if you cross it, there's going to be consequences. You're not going to have access to me like you think you should have access to me. And that's part of standing up for yourself and protecting your energy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that I don't have that issue only because you don't really get the chance to get there. So for me, it's really like you cross that boundary. I'm quick to no, we're not doing it anymore. That's the only, and I think that's a part of what needs to be understood, like, or I think we're trying to be understood, that that's the part of boundaries, that you try me one time, try me.
Someone said, wait.
It's a
I
wrap.
agree. The older I've gotten, the quicker I am to cut people out. If you even try.
My patience is real short.
Facts.
Real short.
Manco was saying that sometimes people put up boundaries that don't need to be just so they can avoid things. Do you guys like find that that's a thing too? It's like, oh, I'm putting up this wall because I don't want to talk about it. You know, I don't want you to come at me and talk about, you know, my relationship, so I'm going to put up this wall, and every time you come, I'm like, So do you guys find that people do that as well?
I think that's a little different than the boundaries that it's to me, that's a defense mechanism as opposed to a boundary.
Okay.
Where you are going to like shut somebody down from asking you about something that you just don't want to talk about versus I will not accept this in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Those are definitely things, and it is scenarios where it's like it's not. Those things can come up where it's like I just don't want to talk about it, so that's off limits. Like off limits is a little different than boundaries.
Okay.
In a way, but that was definitely still like an amazing, like a good point. It is true, very true.
And so since
I
we're
agree.
and Trini says she's in. I should be able to. Are you there, Trini?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Yes, thank you.
So
Trini been itching to talk.
So we started off the conversation, Trini, asking about boundaries and how people feel about boundaries. And we're going to have you jump in for a minute. But you guys, I want to, since we are on here and we are women, and of course, we are women of different flavors. I wanted to talk about, because when you talk about relationships and when you talk about family and things like that, it's the thing of the touching thing. When I talk to my students, a lot of time you have students that are like, you know, and I think we can do it on both ends, Skittle, on our end and on your end. It's the people don't pick up body boundaries. Like when you're pregnant and people want to walk over and want to touch your stuff. I don't know what it is about a belly, but now everybody wants to put their hands on your belly when you're pregnant, as if, you know, and when I was pregnant, I used to, if they put their hand on my belly, I would put my hand on their belly. And they would say, why do you have your hand on my belly? And I'm like, I don't know. Why do you have your hand on mine? You know, so things like that. Or can I touch your hair? Can I touch your hair?
Sorry, the can I touch your hair is thing that something that people have to also realize that it's definitely a hard pass for a lot of us. Some of us it's not. Now the thing is, if you ask me and I'm comfortable with you, I have one of my managers, she's amazing. And she's always fascinated. And she's like, can I touch it? Yes, you can touch it because you asked me respectfully. But if you reach in, what, have you lost your mind? One of my boundaries that I think that I have to always look at, it's not so much the pregnant belly thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's other people's dogs. I love dogs. Like literally there was someone in I was at work and someone came in and she had a new dog. Like, oh, an amazing puppy. And I always have to remind myself, ask the owner if it's okay to touch the puppy, to let the puppy get to know you, to go near the puppy. But you have to understand that. And that's something that I've had to work on personally when it comes to puppies. Sorry.
So I know, Nikki, I don't want to negate what you said, but I'm reading the comments and people are like women are going in, and I don't know what, I'm telling you, I feel you guys. Like Janique said, don't touch my hair unless you're my mama or my man. Asia said, I don't care what flavor you are, do not touch my hair. I don't know why that's such a big thing. Why the whole
lot of people. For me personally, if I have someone who, and the people who I respect these people, and these are things where it's like, if you are someone who is not black, and you are,
I'm laughing because Beyonce is in there talking about, I'm going to touch your hair. You know, I had to laugh at that. She gonna come in.
You pulled my hair.
I love her. You know, she had to come in with that. Of course, Beyonce gonna go left.
But for me, keep in mind, there's so many things, and it's just the type of person that I am and how I look at so much. Where I am the one person that a lot of my white friends feel comfortable talking to about so many different issues, so many different things. So for me, if it's something that if you're curious and you want to know, I would prefer you ask. Like, just, I don't want you to feel as though it's completely inappropriate. Now, that is a boundary for other people. That just doesn't happen to be one of mine. Sometimes I think that I'm strange because that particular thing is not so much one of my boundaries. But I think it's also because of how I look at things, where it's like, I would prefer you respectfully ask me and learn something than assume anything. It's always adorable when it's like, oh, it's so soft. Yeah.
Right.
Because I moisturize it.
Wait.
I mean, things like, but it's things where it's like, you can't expect anybody to change their mindset if you're not also willing to teach them if they ask the question. That's my thing. That's the only reason, that's the only time. And have I had people who do not do it respectfully and try to just come in, and do you get a completely different reaction from me? Yes, you do. That's my thing. That's probably my boundary with it. Like, if you're being respectful about it and you ask questions, I welcome questions. I like to discuss things. I like educated conversation.
Yeah. So
I prefer that I give you educated conversation about it than you go out there and then meet somebody who's going to give you attitude about it or whatever, and then now we're all angry again.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that. So that's why that's my personal thing.
Right. And personal space is a big deal. Like, you know how they say that you have that, you know, I don't know if it's like arm's length away or just, but they're in the comments and they're talking about it, and Man Code and a couple other people. It's that personal space and understanding. You know, it's like when people, when they're talking to you and they move up to you and you move back, and it's like, we're not dancing. Do you understand that I'm backing up because you're in my space. And I think that I don't know why we're so afraid to say, like, can you back up, because like I'm feeling uncomfortable. You're in my personal space. The minute you say that, then people get that, oh well, you're acting funny, or you're different, or okay, I'll leave you alone. But it's like, I think everybody has that. Is it just me? I think everybody has that. If even if we're friends, even if we're cool, it's like that. Give me that space. Can we not? We don't have to be up on each other like we in the New York subway. I need, give me some elbow room, give me some arm room. And Skittles, you are quiet. So look, you are in the family, so I'm going to say this because I got to ask it. We always get asked, can I touch your hair? Have you ever had somebody ask you the same question?
I've been waiting for my moment. No, people don't ask me, but I feel the same way. If you come up and just touch my hair, I'm probably going to smack your hand. Don't touch me. Unless, like, we're on that level, don't touch me. And when I was pregnant, don't put your hand on my belly. Just don't. It's a whole disrespect thing for me. But no, I've not had people come up and be like, oh, can I touch your hair? No. I would probably be like, no.
Yeah, now
I don't understand people.
Once you're my friend and everything, I know sometimes I'll laugh and hit you and stuff like that, but my friends will say, Storm, if you hit me one more time, it's going to be on. And I'm like, okay, I know that about myself. So I have to sit on my hands, because that's a boundary that I know I will cross, because I'm a touchy-feely person. But the minute you say something, because I know what boundaries I cross, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop. I'll stop touching you. Go ahead, Trini, you were getting ready to say something?
So, speaking as a person who always gets the "can I touch your hair" question, I don't have issues saying no, back the hell up. I don't. And I sometimes I think I come off as mean a lot when I say it, because to me, when people ask me that, it's more so of a "are you ignorant" type question. Like, if you had your child, could I just come up and touch your child's face? Like,
right?
No, like, no, you can't touch my hair. And I think where it gets me is the basis on which it's coming from. So a lot of times, people with long hair, thick hair, a combination of both, they tend to get a lot of those questions just because it's this crazy stereotype running around that black women can't grow their hair. Why people think that, I don't know, but I mean, I've often heard, well, it's because black women wear wigs all the time and braids and this and that. So if that's what we choose to wear, that's what we choose to wear.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, if that's what we choose to wear, it's not like, that doesn't mean that we don't.
Oh my God, not again. What?
I've asked that question, and a lot of times they don't ask it before they do it. They ask it in the process of doing it. So it's the, ooh, can I touch your, and it's, ooh, how do you grow your hair so long? And as they're saying it, they're reaching in, and I move away, and I'm like, back up. I grow it this way because I don't allow people to touch my shit. Period.
Okay.
So, and that's literally why I will literally say it like that. And that's I get it comes off ignorant, but I don't care. It's my hair, I have my personal space, and I have a right.
And a part of it to me, I think that's also what's a little different with when I say that I will allow people to touch my hair, it's not those scenarios. I want to make that clear. Scenarios like that are the ones where you're like, why are you near me? Like, if you just reach for it, I've been with the crew and in a circle of friends and felt somebody come near me and didn't know what was going on, and that's your first natural reaction is to not, don't touch me. But like, the people who I'm speaking about are people who are genuine and they're asking questions. There's been conversation leading up to it and all of that good stuff, and I don't mind that. To me, I think that might be a small difference, like where it's like I don't want anybody to think that I just let anybody come and be in my head. So if you ever see me and you be like, can I touch it? Don't assume that I'm going to allow you to do that. But it's definitely a scenario where I don't want it to come off as though Black, you can never touch my hair type of scenario. Like, that's not what it is at all. I'm all for someone who is genuinely asking questions. There's conversations. We're talking about so many other things. You dyed your hair blue yesterday. It was blonde, and you happen to be white. And you're asking questions about why I don't dye my hair. And I'm explaining something to you, and we start talking about something. That is something where I will allow you, because I already know that you're genuine. I think that's a big thing. Just knowing somebody's genuine intentions is huge.
Exactly.
And it's still
The context and the circumstances.
correct. It's a big thing, and this is something that is a boundary that this was not necessarily supposed to be a part of our boundaries conversation, but it's a real thing. And I don't know, in Trinity, I don't know if am I wrong for how or missing something for how I worded that.
No.
And how that concept
not
comes
at all.
across. Because that's, to me, is still a big part of educating.
Yes.
And people don't, like, no different than Skittles, nobody asks you to touch your hair because everybody knows what that hair feels like.
But see, why is it that it's clear that that's a boundary that nobody should cross because everybody knows? Like,
Because different and how it's looked at, and it's, if you don't know and you think it's like, oh, that's nice. Like, that's really what it comes down to. And I think some people who do it, you may not even have necessarily malice intentions, but still watch your tone and just be careful how you approach it.
So I think that's
I'm
Sophie.
not gonna
So
go up to
Skittles,
somebody
can't
and
hear
be
you,
like,
can't hear you.
can't hear who?
I am not gonna go up to me.
Oh, go ahead, Skittles.
I'm not gonna go up to somebody and be like, hey, what size are you? Can I touch it? There's no difference, in my opinion, in hair than any other body part. Be respectful.
Yeah, well, wait. If we want to talk about body parts, and we didn't even jump into this. What about there was a time and place where somebody would just come by, smack you on the butt, come by, grab your hand. You know, that really freaks. Like, okay, you just gonna all of a sudden walk up and be like, come here, can I talk to you for a minute? Excuse me, can I talk to you for a minute? Yes, you can, without putting your hands on me.
I've been called a bitch several times, and then because of my reaction, was then told, you ain't that fly no way.
Oh.
So why was you touching me? Why were you near me? Get away. Like, don't even be mad if I wasn't that fly. It's fine that I'm not that fly.
Like,
I'm
where'd
quick.
that come from? Right.
Well, I think a lot of that too is, and I understand that black men hate to hear this, but I really don't care. Because a lot of people don't call them out on their shit. Period. And black men are well known for doing that foolishness. I have been catcalled by white men, freaking Italians, Spanish, everything. And if I'm like, no thank you, and I'm respectful in my delivery of no when it comes down to them. It's not like I'm like, no, that's all. Let me alone. I'm like, no thank you, I'm good. I appreciate
That's
it.
the thing. Thank you. Oh, no.
I have yet to hear any of them call me a name. But a black man, like, immediately, if you like, no, I'm good. Same way. No, I'm good. Thank you. Can I help you pump your gas? No, I'm good. Thank you so much. They will be quick. All right, well, F you, bitch. This and that and the other. And I've heard that too. You know that fine. And I'll be like, so why was you trying to holler at me?
Right.
Thank you. That's my thing.
You gonna know, because I'm the one. I am the right one to do that too. And so essentially, and again, I don't play because I carry stuff in my car. So good luck trying to get off on me because I can get off on you first. That being said, when I see it and I hear it, yes, it is an issue and it comes from our black men. And we often hear our black men say about how black women are disrespectful to them and we treat them some kind of way. And I'm like, nah, y'all disrespect us the most. Because if we try to holler at y'all and y'all be like, nah, sweetie, I'm good, I'm interested, we keep walking off. We don't pay y'all no mind, on to the next. And that's if a woman will holler at you.
And look,
that comes from.
Our brother is in the comments like, that's because those are boys. And I agree. Man code always going to step up and say, that's because those are boys and it's not mature.
Boys and men, if that's the case.
Huh?
And that needs to stop.
Yeah, you broke up a little bit when you said more than men.
I said if that's the case, then which I totally agree with him. Man Code is absolutely right. But if that's the case, then we have way more boys walking around than we do men. Because there are way more boys out there doing that foolishness than there are men.
But see,
and that's the problem.
And see, I think those are boundaries that we should cross. A lot of times, people are saying now, these young people, they don't want to say anything to these young people because you can't tell young people anything. Well, I feel like that's a boundary that you have to cross. Forget can't be able to tell a young person something. You at least need to try. Now, that's the line you do need to cross. That communication line, that communication barrier to say, hey, and it doesn't have to be every young brother, but that young brother that you know is going to hear you, or that sister that's going to hear you, because one more boundary because we have to switch over to the next set. I know you guys heard Monique talking about the bonnets. Go ahead.
At that point, when you're telling a younger person something, I really don't feel like it's crossing a boundary. I feel like it's educational, because they're not going to know until somebody teaches them, hey, that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good for sis. This is
Right.
let me school you right quick, or young blood. Let me tell you, let me just come here,
Right.
just come here.
Okay, so
It'll get better.
I am as my other panel. So we are gonna switch gears, you guys. But as my other panel is coming in, because I hope they'll start to come in now. I know, because this is going to lead us into the social media aspect of boundaries. I don't know how many of you guys were caught Monique's video when she was talking about the bonnets and wearing the bonnets and the headscarves outside. Did you guys see that? Have you seen that video?
I've heard so much about it, and I've heard all the other stuff. I've never seen the original, but I get it. I understand halfway the concept of it. Not a good look. Don't do it, y'all.
I watched it, but it didn't apply to me, so I really didn't care.
Now, we did have some people coming.
This is what I'm telling y'all. I don't
Look, Trini, send it to me.
I don't let stuff just a piece for a reason.
Trini, if you can send it to me so I can see why everybody's mad and why it's an argument.
It will, because
I don't know why it's an argument.
My blood pressure that don't apply to me. No. If I want to wear my bonnet to the store, then damn it, I'm gonna wear my bonnet. You ain't finna tell me nothing. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't like.
Please don't, girl. I don't even see you doing that.
Just kind of curious.
I have my. Say it again, Skittles.
At this point, I'm curious if Kat has a voice.
Cat.
I'm just curious if Kat has a voice at this point.
I do.
Has the voice with the bonnet?
About the bonnet?
All of it.
Yeah, no, Cat has been
I haven't
laid
seen
back.
the video, so I don't know what y'all are talking about. But I don't
Look,
know.
I know you've definitely seen folks fussing about it, and it's then people mad because there's a debate going on at all. That's what I see.
I haven't
Why
seen
are
it.
we even talking about this?
I haven't seen it. I'm out of the loop. I don't wear bonnets outside, but if somebody wants to wear their bonnet and they feel comfortable, they can rock it if they want to.
I wore mine to the store yesterday. It looked just fine. I was happy as hell.
Oh my god. I'm bougie.
Put your bonnet on with your dangly earrings and some
I'm
makeup and go about your
bougie.
business. That's your business.
With my little lip liner and my gloss, and I was popping, bonnet and all. And how about this? Still got holiday. So what's the point?
I say.
What's the point that he was trying to fake? Because it wasn't that.
I say the
I'm
bonnet.
bougie.
The bonnet is like the bonnet is like the N word. There's a time and a place for everything, and it's the way that other people. It's what other people associate it with. It's not so much that there's something wrong with the bonnet. It's what they associate it with. I work at a high school, and every time my mom comes into the office with a bonnet on, it's this big to do after the mom leaves, and it's always negative. So that's
She's
where,
ghetto.
yeah, that's what it comes up as. Oh, she's ghetto. Why is she wearing that? And that's what the issue is for me. It's
But
like,
what was your key? What was the key thing that was said after she leaves?
yeah,
Because I
It is
would
after
dare
she
somebody to say some stuff like that to me in my face.
But it's perception. It's perception.
it is.
Like if I come up to the school and look for my child and it's in a rush, It's because I got my bonnet on. I'm not there to make nobody look at me. I'm there to handle business.
Professor, you would go to your kid's school with a bonnet on?
I absolutely would.
Trini, because Trini don't care, man. Trini from Baltimore.
Look, if I'm at home,
from Baltimore.
If I'm at home, right, and the school call me and say your son acting a plumb fool and we can't get him to stop. Okay, I'm gonna be right there. Wait a minute, bonnet on and off. I promise you, what I'm wearing is not gonna stop me from getting my son to act right. So what y'all want me to do is make sure that he act right. Right? So if I'm making sure that he act right, it shouldn't matter what the hell I'm wearing. Just know that the enforcer is now in the building, and I'm doing as a mother is supposed to do and handling my child. So that being said, if you want to call me ghetto or whatever, that's fine. I can absolutely take 20 minutes to put on a face and my hair, and then y'all will be calling me every 5 or 10 talking about why are you taking so long to get here? Oh, because I'm ghetto, and I don't want to look ghetto by coming up there with a bonnet on.
Now, here's a part of it to me. This is just a small thing for me because this is my thing. Now, don't act like Nicole has never left the house without her hair being done, or I got my little, I done twisted my hair up and everything. But I'm not doing a bonnet. I know the whole head wrap life.
Okay.
So I'm a look put together, even if it's not together. Like, to me, that's my thing. Like, that's my thing where I be like, I could have told you how to put it. I'll grab a black t-shirt. I don't need a scarf. I don't need nothing special. A black t-shirt makes some of my best head wraps. And I be
almost as you can put a hat on.
I don't have no hat. Trini, say something else about a hat. You know I don't have no hat. You know I don't have a hat. You know I don't have a hat. You know I don't have a hat. I think that's my thing with it. It's like, I'm not gonna go.
Make you look sleek. Make you look
like, are you gonna go? Are you gonna go up there with your bonnet? If you think the bonnet is cool, are you gonna go out there with house shoes on, with slippers on?
No, I ain't doing that. No,
exactly. To me, the slippers and a bonnet are the same thing.
And a house coat? No.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I'm going to be fair because you know how Nikki is. So we're going to transition now, you guys. We've been talking about boundaries. We're now going to talk about boundaries when it comes to. That's right. We're going to talk about boundaries when it comes to social media and friendships, you guys. So I got my crew is switching. Skittles, thank you. I will see you at the end of the month. So I got my girl. The only person I'm looking for is Ashley, but we're going to keep this going, you guys. So boundaries, and we're gonna jump right into it. What we're talking about now is boundaries when it comes to social media and when it comes to friendships. The first thing that I want to say is, Andrew, boundaries. I asked this question of the first group. Boundaries, have them? Yes or no? And if so, why are they important to you?
Oh, we live.
Yeah, we live.
Oh.
And somebody hit up Ashley. No countdown. We're here.
Oh, okay. So you said, do I have boundaries?
Boundaries. Go ahead.
As far as my friends and social media, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Friends and social media.
Yes, I have boundaries as far as my friends and social media. When it comes to boundaries with my friends, it's more so like a respect thing. Like that's really my biggest boundary. Because I'm gonna give you the respect, and it ain't even a hope or wish factor. You gonna give me mine because I just don't play about people talking to me or treating me any type of way, because I know if I call you a friend, how hard I'm gonna go, and I expect that same thing in return. So that's one of my boundaries when it comes to a friendship. Social media, I really don't really care on social media. It's not really it doesn't really bother me too much what people say or do on social media, especially like, how people get mad about indirect posts and stuff. If you don't say it to me, it don't matter, because I can take anything anybody posts and think is about me, but if you don't say it to me, I don't put it on mine. So that's one of my boundaries. And if you feel like I said something about you on my post, then you really wouldn't be my friend if you feel offended.
Right.
So I I think that was in the guidelines of the boundary.
It was in the guidelines, and we're just gonna keep on going. Mimi, I'll let you jump in there and go next.
Yeah, I have boundaries. They keep me safe, mentally, and you know, if I'm friends with you in person, sometimes physically, because people like to get too comfortable. But a lot of my boundaries are more so they deal with my, you know, my mental health conditions. Like, I can't have certain people try to talk to me any certain kind of way or whatever, just because you're not going to disturb my peace, kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And even on social media, people will try you. People will try you, and like he was saying, like the indirect stuff, I usually let it just slide off my shoulders too. But it's when people try to get close to you and try to like overstep that boundary and try to get close to you to throw that shade, like that low key shade, you get cut off.
Yeah.
You get cut off. So yeah, that's mine.
Asia. Oh, I can see you.
Hello, everyone. I believe boundaries are important to let people know how they should treat you and how they shouldn't treat you. When it comes to social media, when you start creating friendships there, by that point, they should have already kind of known what your boundaries are from previous conversations. Real life friendships, it kind of builds up to that. Now, sometimes you do have to just stop and say, hey, you know, that you're doing, I don't like that. And when you do that, this is how I feel and this is what happens. So boundaries absolutely need to be set for your peace of mind, if nothing else.
Alona, and then and then Ashley, and then we'll get into it, you guys. Lona, can you hear me? You gotta unmute your mic. There you go.
Yes, absolutely. Boundaries are very important. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I did. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So, absolutely, boundaries are very important. It's personal boundaries and social media boundaries. For me, it's about not letting, again, someone I think already said this, about not letting anyone disturb my peace. But also knowing how far to go in the sense of a personal relationship as well. Sometimes people can be a little too familiar or think that they know so much about you that they can take things to a different level. And so you have to be able to speak your truth and say, you know, that's not cool, that's not okay.
Alona, I think
Sorry,
that,
I was about to say.
I
think it's either your computer or your phone is on, but
you
kind of echoing.
You might have to mute your phone while you're talking.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, but I hear
So
somebody. I don't know who that is. Is that
Somebody's
me, you guys?
watching from two devices.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or maybe they're not mute. Is everybody mute that's not talking?
Okay. Is that better?
No, because we still hear two devices. Do you have your phone and your laptop on?
So I just have my my phone on.
That's so weird. Why? How is that happening?
Andrea, you don't have yours on, right? Your phone, or like you only have sound on one thing.
You can't hear me now. I'm
Alona, are you
I'm
watching
now-
the live and on Zoom?
Am I doing what? I'm sorry.
Are you watching the live and on Zoom?
No, I was, but I turned it off.
I don't know who that is then.
I don't know where that's coming from. It's not me. So do me a favor. I love you guys. Technical difficulty. Everybody. Okay, so we don't hear it anymore, right? Now we don't hear it anymore. Why is that? Now we do hear it. Okay, well, anyway, we're going to keep going. Yes, we are. Okay, Alona, go ahead and finish your statement. I'll try to figure it out.
Sure. So
Okay, well, anyway, we're going to keep going. Yes, we are. Okay, Alona, go ahead and finish your statement. I'll try to figure it
Okay. And I may step off after I finish my statement and then step back on, and maybe that's what the problem is.
Okay.
So the other thing I was going to talk about as it pertains to social media, having people come in and say things that are extra about your post, or I haven't done a whole lot of TikToks yet, but I have people who are my friends who do TikTok, and so I've seen, sometimes people can be a little extra in the comments or don't know how to hold their excitement in, and so boundaries are very important.
Everybody said yes. They're saying that. Okay. Yes, they are. So you guys can hear me. All right. Alona went out and came back in. Okay. So Ashley, go ahead and I'm sorry. Ashley, go ahead. And you guys, yes, I know that it's a redundant question, but it's important to ask each person about their boundaries so that we get a gist of what we're talking about and a gist of how they feel about boundaries. Because you might have somebody that's just like, nope, don't care about boundaries, doesn't matter to me. So go ahead, Ashley, when it comes to boundaries, when it's friendships and social media.
And just because I came on a little late, the question is it important, or what was the question exactly?
Important, and why are they important to you, if they are important at
okay. Okay, yeah, they're absolutely important. And they're important to me because I can't kind of function in the way that I need to if, I'm not at my best at all times. And if boundaries are being crossed, and typically that puts you in a headspace where, you're not feeling your best. You're feeling maybe slighted or disrespected or something like that. And the friendship aspect. So, it's important to, because you spend a lot of time with your friends. Well, I do anyway. I'm super social. I'm always with somebody usually. So, it's important to have those boundaries set just so that you guys understand, where you stand and where that respect comes into play and things like that. Mm-hmm. And so you can be at your best. And then as far as social media, there's definitely boundaries. There's so many things going through my head with social media because I'm not on there as much. Well, I'm getting back. I'm getting back on there. But you just have to set boundaries because for me personally, when I post, I don't know what vibe it gives, but sometimes people just end up like in your inbox, and not that they're being out of pocket. Sometimes it can go left, but there's boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have to set them because people can't just talk to you or come at you anyway. And how you carry yourself and how you respond is gonna put those boundaries in the stone. Set them so they know. So it's very important in all aspects.
Okay, so we're gonna first, you guys, we'll get into friendships and especially when it comes to boundaries and things like that. And if I'm marrying both of them together, a lot of people feel like, okay, I have 5,000 followers, 6,000 followers. Alona, you have to unmute your mic and your camera if you can hear me. People think they have 6,000 followers, 5,000 followers, and they think all 6,000 followers are their friends because we throw that word around. And so when you have that happen, when you have people feeling like they're your friends, then they can cross the line several times. When we are posting things, you guys, like Andrew, when we're posting things to have fun. If you're posting about, like your latest post was, me coming back onto social media and having the applause. And then you have a troll that comes in and like, why would anybody be applauding? Not that this happened, but why would anybody be applauding you? It is crazy how many people, when it comes to these social media platforms, just cross boundaries all the time. They feel like I can say whatever, whenever, to whomever.
So when it comes to social media and stuff like that, and I understand there's trolls out there, but the reason I don't pay on no mind is because I delete and block quickly. I don't have time. When I say I protect my peace, I protect it at all costs. Like I don't have time to argue with somebody, especially somebody I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then I don't even like to argue, period. So the minute I see a comment like that, it's delete and block. I can care less. I don't know you anyway. So what am I missing if I delete and block you? And but that goes into protecting your peace. Like, once you engage with somebody like that, they did their job. Like, they won. But if you don't engage and you delete and block, you'll always be. And that comes with the territory. Social media.
Yeah, you froze a little bit. So, and I'm gonna get into it, you guys, because okay, like right now, I think somebody in the comments was like, you know, Andrew over there in his robe looking chill or whatever, and you'll find that, and you guys, ladies, don't get mad at me. We're gonna put us on the hot seat for a little bit. You coming in and you sitting in with your blue robe and everything. Some people, and not my people, because they're wonderful when they come in. A lot, they're so respectful. But you have people that are automatically like come in and shoot their shot. Like, hey, oh, you in there? You just because you have on the robe. Oh, what's under the robe? Oh, you know, take the robe off. And people like, I don't understand, and ladies, we can speak to it, because I guess people think that, oh, well, he's in the robe, so anything that someone says to him is fair game. And I don't think that is so. And I think people need to check themselves a little bit better when it comes to this app, when it comes to social media, when it comes to the words that are coming out their mouths or the things that they're typing on the screen.
Absolutely.
I just don't like clothes. That's it.
So, okay, so like,
That's
you know,
really it.
you're silly. Just recently, you guys, we had, management had the challenge. Shout out to Bella and the management for doing the challenge. And so everybody was really going in. Everybody was being creative. Everybody was like stepping their game up. And it was like really fun. It was like, okay, let's see who can be this creative. Okay, let's see who can be more creative than that. But then when you have people that don't realize, didn't pay attention to what was going on, how the creativity was going, it was all in fun. Then you have a troll coming on saying, oh, well, why are you doing that? Why is she wearing this? Or you have someone that it's all in fun, it's all tasteful. Then you have someone go over the top and do something that's so overly sexual that makes everybody go, wait, that's not what this is. And why do you think that people are now getting bolder and bolder when it comes to social media? And that's out to anybody.
It's easy to hide behind a screen for some people. And that's the reason. And now, if you're talking about the negative people who are getting more bold on social media, it's easy for them to cross the boundaries because we don't know them. 9 times out of 10, they don't have a picture, so we can't even search for them if we wanted to. So it's very easy for them to cross those boundaries because they know nothing can ever happen to them.
And it's kind of the same thing for those who take it too far. I mean, they feel like, hey, I'm behind a screen, I can't see my audience, so I can get away with a lot more.
Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like when people like, so for me, like personally, when I see stuff where I'm like, woo, like that's a lot. I don't know if I would have put that out there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna take the time to be like, girl, why are you doing this? Who cares? Like you said, I don't know them. They don't know me. It's your prerogative. Your page is your platform to do whatever you want.
Facts.
And I feel like if people don't like it, then okay, keep scrolling. It's
Facts.
so easy. But the fact that you stopped, you took a whole minute to type something negative. I mean, to me, that speaks volumes to you and your character and your self-esteem, because at the end of the day, you got on this app to tell people, like, you got on this app to tear people down. You didn't have to say nothing if you weren't in agreement with it, and whether you felt like they went too far or they didn't. I mean, if they in a thong and decide to shake their behind on their page, that's their business. That's what they feel like their content is. You might not agree with it. You might not put content out that looks like that. But you don't have to take that time out to just be nasty, or you know what I'm saying? Just scroll on to something else.
Exactly. Keep scrolling.
TikTok. Maybe you need to reevaluate your algorithm and figure out how you got on that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So don't be mad when you end up on in a looking at stuff and you're like, oh my God, like that's extreme. Is it though? Because what are you normally looking at that put you there in the first place?
Right.
So,
And then
I look at
Go ahead.
I look at it differently. I look at it like, well, I mean, I look at it like that, but I'm saying like I look at it as a silver lining with everything. Like if somebody, and it may be the tough skin I have, but if somebody comments something negative, it's respect to me because you give me attention. Like I don't pay you no mind, but at the same time, you like actually say you took the time out of the scrolling to comment on mine. Why me? I like it.
yeah.
And I mean, I'll read it before I delete it, but you know, I like it. Hey, thank you. That's how I deal with all of it. You know, like, oh, you took the time out of your day to talk to me. Thank you, but I'm gonna delete you and block you.
oh right, block game strong.
There's a way to leave your. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's a way to leave your opinion without being so fucking without being so nasty.
I know.
Without being
Yeah.
so nasty, like if you don't like it, like, ooh, girl, props to you, I wouldn't have done that. Instead of come on there and be like, ew, why did you do that? That you make yourself look like a hoe. You know, there's ways to say it if you don't like it, if you just feel compelled to say something, because people act like they just can't scroll, which is crazy,
Yeah.
but that's just miserable people. You know, miserable people always, they
Wait a minute.
need attention themselves, basically.
So you would have left the first comment you said?
I'm sorry?
You would have left the first comment you said?
I would have. If I know them. If I know them. If it's a stranger and they're doing, because I scroll TikTok and I be seeing some stuff and I be like,
Because I'm about to say the first comment was in the
Like-
same boat as being as a
No.
troller.
if I know them, and chances are, if I know them, I might not even say it on their actual post. I might inbox and be like, girl, like, man, woo, you a trip. But I'm not coming at them negatively because it's just like, you bold enough to do it, more props to you, go for it. It's your platform, do what you like. But I'm not gonna be all up on your post, you know, shedding negative lights and stuff like that. Like, it's just not necessary. But like I said, it would be if it's somebody I know. Somebody I don't know, I'm just gonna keep it pushing because I don't want to be back on that side of TikTok.
And see,
I was going to say, I was going to say this. We also have to look at this platform as like building a self-esteem builder. A lot of people get on this platform to build their self-esteem, so we do have to be careful what we say to them, because there are a lot of people who have, you know, those issues. They could have been torn down by, you know, in a relationship or things like that. So we need to take a look at, you know, when you comment, you know, about things in a negative light, you know, you're tearing down somebody's self-esteem. But I do think, though, sometimes you need to let people know really who they are, too. Like, to me, I don't think anything's wrong with saying, you know, I think, you know, you're too beautiful to do, you know, to be doing that. Or, you know, and not trying to do it in a way of self-shame or shaming someone. But sometimes people don't know who they are. And so being able to speak to it in that manner or in that form, I think sometimes can help people understand necessarily, you know, like who they are. And you don't have to do that type of, you know, TikTok or be on that kind of, you know, platform to get that type of attention.
right.
Yeah. And I would just to piggyback about that, because that's why I only did it, because I've seen people with like huge followings, and when people are nasty to them, they correct them in kindness, and so I like, wow, like they just, you know, it speaks to them and their character, you know, because people are just mean, and the more followers you get, it seems like the meaner people get for whatever reason. And so like sometimes when you look in the comments and people are saying sideways stuff, if they have a following, first of all, their followers usually jump on that person first, right? Mm-hmm. But then the creator will sometimes come there and try to, you know, be like the
few things.
Yeah,
kind of diffuse it, but you know, just kind of like bridge the gap a little bit to be like, hey, you know, such and such, and try to say something. It's like they correct them in kindness. Like they kind of say something a little nice, but they still kind of put them in their place a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I mean, everybody doesn't have that gift, you know. I feel like that's a gift to know how to navigate through conflict like that. Some people you see, they don't really say anything. They don't delete it. They might just leave it there. I haven't really had a bad experience. I've had like one person say something smart, but again, I'm not on here like that. And honestly, the community we've kind of cultivated amongst the people that we like actually engage with on this platform, we're all about like self-empowerment and stuff like that. So I feel like honestly, we've been almost protected in a sense because we don't really get the bad comments from like all the stuff that's out here because we kind of just, we're always on each other's pages and like giving each other shout outs and showing love and stuff like that, which is really cool.
Yeah, but once in a while.
I can't say, it
depends on
far
how
off
big the video
instead of
is.
like
It depends on how much the video
that too.
Because the higher you
how viral it goes.
The higher your video goes, oh man, it gets like the Amazon video. I don't have time to go back through and delete them comments, but the people on there calling me lazy and stuff, I don't care about none of that. It was a video. It was for jokes. But
it was jokes.
You should see some of them. They outrageous. This man called me, I can't even say it, but I just read it and keep going.
It's like, don't equate my TikTok videos to my real life. You will be left
upset. Oh my God. I can't stand it. What is going on? I'm sorry, you guys. Every time it gets good, and I was getting ready to say something.
Something about so nobody has a crush on your stomach. I had guys coming there like, oh, you're lying, and the screen coming out again.
Oh, it's bad.
I agree. The more viral your video, the more.
Oh well, if they can't hear me, look,
they can hear you now. They can hear you. They can hear you now.
My bad. Yo,
I think it's
your little B word. Like maybe you need to go home and work from home or something like that. I was like, yo,
what? Okay, so that's like, and I know a lot of people, so you guys are being so nice and so wonderful. That's wonderful. But we're talking about crossing boundaries. And here is my issue with some things. A couple of things, because I've heard some people say, first, we've said, if I know the person, okay, the Zoom council and the moderators, I talk to you offline. So I know you. And there's some people on TikTok that I might not talk to them offline, but I talk to them in their direct messages, and we talk often and we check on each other. Hey girl, how you been? Like my girl Jada. Hey girl, how you been? What's going on? Oh, we need to connect. But I don't naturally assume, because we follow each other and we speak when we're in somebody's live, that I know you and that you know me. So when you open your mouth to say something to me, make sure that we know each other. Don't check me on something. You're crossing a boundary right there. Like you said, we're doing this. It's self-esteem. But when you cross a line and say, oh my God, why'd you post that video? Oh my God. And I don't even want to come back at you, but it's like people go back and forth and they go back and forth with each other. But it's like, make sure you know the person. You can say, oh, if I know that person, I can say something. But do you know that person? Do we spend time offline? Do we spend time talking to one another outside of TikTok or outside of Instagram? If we do, then yeah, I holla at Mimi. We talk about mom stuff. But if the only time I talk to you is in a live, put it on pause. Because that's crossing a boundary.
Well, that's what I meant when I said person.
And I mean, we all, that's what we were all talking about, whether we know somebody. And the other part is when you, like we're saying, we always say it's TikTok. But we know that there are people on TikTok that have built whole worlds on TikTok and have crossed boundaries, crazy boundaries, because you have built a whole world on TikTok. A whole world on TikTok. It's like, for me, what you see on TikTok is what you get. CEO, inspirational stuff, being silly, clapping with the order. That's me. That's how I choose to do TikTok. Now, some people do fantasy. Like I love my girl CJ. She does the vampire stuff. Now, but you can't come at CJ like, oh my God, you shouldn't do the vampire stuff because that's not reality. Yes, that's CJ's page. She knows that. She does it for entertainment. So there's two different things. But when people come on and open their mouth and openly go after people and you don't know them, that's the problem that I have. The boundaries. Like what gives you the right to say anything? Again, like you guys said, if you don't like it, keep scrolling. But then when you talk and say something, and I'm gonna let y'all go, the thing that bothers me the most is you open your mouth and you say something to somebody and then you get offended when they check you. You came on my page. You were talking bad on my page. Now I've checked you and you're offended? Where does that come from? That's a boundary that you're crossing. Stay off of Storm CEO page if you don't want to hear what I got to say. Because
That's the entitlement.
I spent $70,000 to tell you why you feel the way you feel when you come to my page. When you hate on me, it's because it's something within you that you don't have that I have. Facts. We can talk about it offline. If you want to DM me. I can show you books. When you're hating on somebody, it's because it's something within you that's missing.
I feel like you talking to somebody personal.
I just feel like boundaries. It's like boundaries.
I was like,
I'm talking to anybody. Look, I'm talking to anybody that does that
Like, you
on a
do the face
regular.
stuff, I'm like, all right, okay.
On a regular.
I'm minding my business.
I see,
No,
Me scrolling.
I see,
Somebody on the outside just like,
she got emotional.
because you guys, I see beautiful people. Like y'all know how I have a special place in my heart for Beyonce. For Beyonce. I call her Beyonce. For Beyonce. And Beyonce is touching a whole group of people that are like coming up out of their shell because of her. And when you have ignorant people go on her page and say dumb stuff, they don't understand the person that took 2 steps forward has now taken 3 steps back because your dumb butt didn't know how to curve your mouth. And I know people
Big time
look.
dumb stuff.
It's like
because
look.
I think,
Go ahead.
Talk your stuff, cuz.
I'm gonna say, I think the dumbest thing that I saw was when they were dancing, she was in her swimming suit in the pool. If they would just turn the camera just a little bit, you would have seen the pool. Somebody in there, oh, I get the dancing, but why you gotta do it in a swimming suit? No, bitch, because they buy a pool. What are you
Asia.
talking about? And I said that on her page too. Like, I'm sorry, that irked my nerves. Like,
Go to the corner.
Right.
I'm not crossing no corner, but you crossing the boundary. You also bullying, and it's not necessary.
And it's not cool
And yes,
at
you always
all.
say it's just TikTok. That is just TikTok. But dang, can you have some kind of class about
Exactly.
it? Can you show some sort of restraint?
Exactly.
Go deal with your issues, please.
Right. Shout out
Don't
to
bring it here to other people.
Shout out to Bella and Cupcake that tried to that creativity thing and that being secure about who you are just brought so many people out like, oh, okay, well, all right, here's me being creative. Here's Trini in a hat. And it's like all these things, and you see people blossom and grow, and then you see one person that can't stand to see anybody grow come out and say something. And then the other thing, since I'm on my soapbox, because guess what? This is my session. What Women Want Wednesday. I created it. If you don't like it, go to somebody else's live. Because I'm going to say there's so many people on here, so many wonderful creators on here that are doing things that are above and beyond and showing you that it's okay. Look, if I'm a 6-foot chocolate girl and I feel some way about my height, Mike created Big Talk, and now I got a whole family. That's right, we big for no reason, and I'm okay with that. And I don't down you because you might not be 6 feet. I don't down short people, but it's like that's what they do. It's people on here like I love Alona. Alona is very spiritual, and she comes with facts. She comes with honesty and truth. Man code, the same thing. But there are people out here that will cross boundaries all the time. Oh, he shouldn't be talking about that, or don't nobody want to hear a word. Let me tell you something. Well, I'm on my soapbox, and then I'm gonna get off. It was the prayers of your grandmothers and your aunties and people from a long time ago that's still covering your dumb butt. So when you open up and say something what you don't need to hear, you need somebody praying for you, somebody saying something. So it's like these are boundaries that people are crossing. And yeah, CEO is mad because you have the nerve to sit in a glass house and throw a stone and think your world ain't gonna come crumbling down around you. That's my piece, and I'm on to the next. So anyway, because we as a people, we move mountains, y'all. We move mountains, and you should be
Alona.
You should be moving a mountain, not moving your mouth.
I was like, let the church say amen.
Amen.
Period. Yeah, the other part of that too, I would say, because I do know that there's a lot of people who Cause that's another thing. Like just like you were saying, Dre, it was so cool to see so many people doing so many things they don't normally do with their content. They was being a little sexy and sensual and whatnot. I had to make a whole post about it. I was like, oh, y'all acting up out here. Everybody was showing out, but it was fun. It was all really good fun. So that's like a step towards self-confidence, self-appreciation, and just enjoying being who you are in your fullness with your stretch marks or whatever else
Come
you got.
on.
You just out here vibing,
With your fupa.
you know what I'm saying? So I get it. But with the comments, I will say, try to treat it like the grocery store. You go in the grocery store and you don't just go down the aisle and just throw everything in your cart, right?
Mhm.
You only pick up what you need. The
Yep.
stuff you don't, you leave it there.
There it is.
So treat your comments the same way. Pick up the good stuff because it's always going to outweigh the bad. I know sometimes the bad hits you hard, and even if there's 100 comments on there, those 2 bad ones they're gonna stick with you. You're gonna be thinking about them for a while. But
Exactly.
don't focus on the fact that there was 98 other people who told me how great I was, who told me how I made them smile today, who told me how you.
Oh my God. My TV does not want me to be great at all. This is crazy.
Oh, I thought something happened. Sorry.
The TV
But
cut off.
yeah. Oh.
I don't know if it's on a timer, you guys. I will
But
check
yeah,
that. I will make
so-
sure. I wanted to say that Fry King is in the message, and one of the other people in the chat, I didn't catch whose name it was. They were like, it doesn't matter what you look like, because what Fry King said was, they had the challenge and they had Voice doing it and X doing it and all these guys doing it, and someone came at him like, you don't look like Voice, you don't look like X, so why are you doing this? And I'm like, baby, listen. I told somebody before, I'm from Cleveland, and Fry King reminds me of Gerald Levert. And if you don't think that there are ladies out here crazy about somebody chocolate with a beard, watch your mouth. There's some people out here looking for Drew with his chiseled face and his dreads, which looking like a crown. So watch your mouth. Is something. It's like we have a thing in Cleveland called Baskin and Robbins, and it's an ice cream place, and it's like 33 flavors. And you need to understand that just because you don't like strawberry doesn't mean somebody else doesn't. So it's like what you put your
At the
mouth
end of the
on.
day, we have to get to a point where I could be Baskin Robbins and be the only customer in there because I'm just that bomb. I don't need nobody to eat none of this but me. And that's the type of energy you're gonna attract, because that's the type of energy that's got to give off. And we're not gonna be conceited. We're gonna leave that there. The next sentence will be, don't allow people to put you in your place. You know what I'm saying? We're all royalty at the end of the day. We're all kings and queens. You don't get to put me where you think I should be, because
Right.
I've been walking in greatness before I got on TikTok.
Basically.
So you're not going to come over here and tell me what I'm not doing, or who I'm not, what challenge I'm not supposed to be a part of, or who I can't hang with. No, you're mad because you can't sit with me. You're mad because you're not in the challenge. So carry on. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, you just have to know, like you're bomb, and you just have to really, but you have to like understand it, know it, and breathe it. And I don't. It can be a process depending on where you are mentally with self-appreciation and stuff like that. Everybody's not there overnight, but like you still have to know, like, you have a purpose. All of us do. We're all called to greatness. So don't let anybody try to make you feel less than at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Amen.
Exactly.
Right.
Because like
That's why I told him you might not be everybody's cup of tea, but trust me, somebody out there likes coffee instead.
right. And like Mimi, we're talking like, when I first got on here, and I'm older than you, a lot of people were like, oh, TikTok is for the kids. What's the moms doing on here? And it's like, and then this whole thing that came blasting out with TikTok moms and TikTok dads and all those things like that. And it's like people just cross the line all the time. And it's like, we need an outlet too. Like when I'm talking to you and you're like, you know, I got my kids, and you know, sometimes doing a video is the thing that makes me happy, that makes me laugh, that makes me feel like, okay, I took a break to do a silly dance. I did, because I need that. That's what and I mean, me, do you find that it's the same for you?
Absolutely. Sometimes, like, that's my only me time throughout the day. And that's like my only outlet to kind of just be silly and be myself, because I'm on my hustle the rest of the day. If I'm not, you know, doing something to make money, I'm with the girls. And that is like literally my only outlet. And I kind of want to like go a little bit back to what Asia was saying. People think that they know you based off of your TikToks. I have the opinion that no matter how authentic you are on your TikTok, nobody is ever going to really truly know you until you follow off. And people get that really confused. I actually had somebody tell me that they're getting to know me through my TikTok, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, and just was like, red flag, like, okay, that's cool. Probably not going to be talking to you no more. It's just like, you know, you can't overstep a boundary just because you think you're getting to know somebody off of TikTok. Sweetie, unless you have actual conversations with that person, don't think you can come at them any kind of way. Don't think that you can say things that you would say to your real life friends, because I don't know you like that.
Facts.
I don't know you like that. I haven't let you in like that.
He said, cash me outside. Manco said, cash me outside. And it's like there are people on here, you guys, that are really making a difference. There are people on here that have, because they've decided to, and this is a positive boundary, because they have decided to come on the other side of their boundary and push. You have businesses that have been flourishing. You have people that are now willing to speak in public where they had a fear of public speaking, because this app allowed them to reach so many people. And that's the plus, that's the positive side of us, because like Andrew had, you know, he's a comedian, but he has Addison Transportation. Asia has Blue 81. Ashley's a realtor. Man Code has his Man Code 101 brand. EXE has Eliminate Negative Energy. Trini has and Lady LeBlanc. I hope I said it right, Trini. And you have Janique, who is coming into her own with her event planning and things that she's doing. So you have a lot of people that are pushing their boundaries and doing things that they wouldn't normally do. So that's the plus of it. So when we have people that are coming on and saying hurtful things or mean things or trying to help somebody, that's when social media, that's the downside of social media. That's the horrible side of it. And thinking that you're building these friendships, because we were talking about social media and we were talking about friendships. And so when you have somebody saying, I have 50,000 followers and I have 50,000 friends, no, you don't. You have 50,000 people that have attached themselves to your page. And like Mimi said, people that they're thinking that are getting to know you. And we appreciate those 50,000 people. But what are you doing with the 50,000 people that you're attached to? Are you saying something wonderful, or are you trolling? It's
you
like
know,
those. Go ahead.
You know, people take TikTok and, you know, they feel like the people that comment or like their stuff a lot are their friends. And I think that's where the confusion comes in, that they consider these people real friends and you don't even know these people. You know, so that's where a lot of the confusion comes in. You know, like if somebody comments on 3 of their videos, they're like, oh my God, we're friends. Like how? You know, you've never met that person or anything like that. So I think that's where a lot of the idea of friends get misconstrued, right? Because
people use that word loosely.
And I have been trying to go back through my followers and figure out, like, I know why I follow people, and I'll follow back anybody that follows me, and I'll go through and I'll be like, and what I love about just going through the followers that I have, they're crazy and kooky like me. They do silly things. I don't have to go 10 videos in to see that they're an empowerment person. I like the fact that if you look at your followers, a lot of your followers have something that is related to you. But then on the other side, like I say, I love everybody that follows me, and I follow back. I might sound crazy. Those people that have you know, they have 10K followers, but they only follow 100 people. I don't know how that is. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody.
1.3 million follow 20 people.
Right. It's like, how do you?
Sometimes people make a video, it happens overnight, and
right. Okay, I get that. I get that. But I try to follow back as many people, and I'm not knocking nobody that doesn't, because everybody has their own way of doing things. I just feel like I want to know who's following me, and I want to try to go through and give some love. I don't like, what bothers me is when people say things like, I'm having a bad day, and you know that 15 people have scrolled past that video. I'm going to reach out and be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, how are you? I hope your day gets better. Or I might go in the comments, and it's like those, and some people might say, well, that's crossing a boundary, Storm, because maybe. But if somebody reaches out and says, I'm having a bad day, I hope this day gets better, I'm going to go in the comments, I hope the day gets better too. If you're going to spend your time going in somebody's comments saying something, say something like that. Say something encouraging. Like, cross that boundary. Make it a love boundary. Make it a love fest. You know?
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but you know, when you have the same boundaries you have on social media, you I wouldn't say the same, but you also got to have those same ones with your friends. Like,
facts.
I know what you accept on social media sometimes reflects on what you accept from people in general, you know, and like some people consider people a friend, and they allow them to do and say certain things that you wouldn't allow a stranger to say to you. So how do you allow someone you call your friend to say this to you? So I think that's where, you know, if they accept it from personally, then a lot of times they accept it on social media.
Yeah.
But that also, to me, speaks to everyone is not your friend. Again, we use that word too loosely. For me, it's a thing of, you know, I have a son, and when he was 3 years old, I can remember the first thing he did, he came home from preschool and was saying something to the fact of, Mom, you know, I have a whole classroom of new friends or whatever. And it became a trend to just start calling everybody your friend. But if someone is hitting you in your eye, taking your lunch, breaking your colors, you know, maybe putting your head in the sand when it's time to go outside and play, those people are not your friends. So we have to be careful how we use the term friend. How about, let's say, an associate, or I'm getting to know that person. I mean, to me, those words are important, because you can't just let everybody in. And we've been saying that all night. But I think one of the other things is sometimes we let people in too soon. You have to be careful with that as well.
So then that's the other.
You also got to be strong enough to lose these people.
Yeah, that's
like, you also got to be strong enough to find out who these people really are, and be able to cut them off. Like, even though you met them and y'all got close, and you find out that they are not who you would consider a friend, you got to be strong enough to say no. Like you got to be able to cut it off and protect your peace at the end of the day.
I've definitely done that.
Go ahead.
It goes to the whole thing of saying, when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Clip. If someone shows you
both people and all her sheep.
Right. And then that's the other way of building building healthy boundaries. Like, when you know, and my mentor used to say, you have to manage people's expectations. And she would say, I'm so sorry that I gave you the impression that you could treat me any kind of way, that you could deal with me. And that's my fault. Let me change that. Let me help you with that. Let me fix that for you. So.
And I also feel like it's okay to label people you know, and everybody's not going to have the same title, right? So, like, when I'm referring to people that I know, I may say, oh yeah, those are my coworkers. Or I may say, oh yeah, this girl I know. Or, oh, that's a mutual person we know through my friend. You know what I'm saying? She's not my friend, but it's a mutual contact that my friend and I both know. Like, I'm very specific where everybody's in their little pocket. Like, I have like my TikTok people, and then I have my friends from TikTok. So it's very like, everybody ain't in the same space, you know what I'm saying? I have my best friend, and then I have my close friends. Like, I'm very like, everybody has a space, and everybody has a category. So like, I feel like people should not be afraid to do that. Like you said, Alona, that was really like, you were like, you know, I'm getting to know so and so. Acquaintance. There's nothing wrong with that word. It doesn't mean I don't like you or anything. It just means that I'm getting to know you. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes if you are more specific and more intentional about labeling people accordingly, you won't be so caught off guard when people's actions are not the action of a friend, because you're in your mind, you're already telling yourself, well, we're not friends quite yet. So therefore, you know, you're going to move a little different with that person. But when you befriend someone and you're jumping and giving them friendship type vibes, or, you know, you're treating them as you would a friend you may have had for some time, and then they just come at you in a totally different way, and you're like, dang, I wouldn't treat my friend like that. Well, y'all weren't really friends for real. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of sold yourself short by jumping the gun and getting in there without getting to know them a little bit. So I personally feel like labels are very important. I'm not saying go all crazy with it, but the gist of it is just that, you know, don't value a relationship that hasn't shown you it deserves to be valued. Right. If that makes sense.
Right.
That brings my life back to me.
I was going to say this too. The other thing is, when you are a friend to someone and you open up that space for them to be free, to have conversations, but you hurt their feelings. You, as the person who hurt someone else's feelings, you need to be open to the fact that you hurt someone, and don't just go off on the, well, you know, it's a part of my personality, or it's just a part of who I am, or whatever. That is very important, to be able to accept that from someone. Like, hey, you hurt my feelings, or, you know, I don't, you know, I didn't like the way you came at me. Be open enough to accept that, okay, it didn't sound right to you. And even though it didn't sound like I was being offensive to you, it's important to just be able to say, you know what, because you are my friend and I do care for you, I'm going to be the bigger person and apologize, because my tone or whatever it may be, it hurt you. And so if you know, I really care about you, then I'm making the statement to say, you know what, I apologize. My intent was not to hurt you at all.
You wonder why jobs give people 90 days? Because they got to know that when you get out of the shine of working here, will you still put forth the effort that you put in day one? And that's why they call it a grace period or a probational period. And it's the same with friends. It's the same with friends. When you give somebody that energy and they don't return it, and you come at them and they're that's just how I am. We too old for that excuse. That excuse that excuse works for people that's young, or it just don't work for me. I don't know if it works for other people, but that's just who I am. Doesn't work for me. But if that's your answer to me, then our energies don't match and we can't be friends. We can be associates. I can say, hey, whatever, but you're no longer allowed in my personal space of being called a friend. But some people are big on second chances, or they look for the good in people. And when somebody shows you who they are constantly, you can't continue to allow, if you don't allow it from a stranger, how can you allow it from somebody else? And then to parents, if you won't allow somebody to talk to your child like that, how can you allow somebody to talk to you like that? Because you set an example, right?
Right.
And that's what I do with that's why I tell AJ. I say, you respect everybody, but don't you ever allow nobody to talk to you any type of way. And you can correct them respectfully. You don't have to do all the cursing and hollering, but don't you ever allow nobody to to talk to you any type of way.
Right. So I want to.
Oh, hold on, wait.
ahead.
I wanted to say something good about that
Go
because
ahead.
Alona had said something about apologizing. Because I used to be a person who was very liquid with the mouth. Okay, I know me. Yes, me. I used to don't laugh.
I can believe
But
it.
yeah, I used to be like saucy out here. Like, what? I don't care, you know. But as I, evolved and changed, there were times where I didn't even know what I was apologizing for. But because I valued the relationship, it was, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to hurt your feelings.
Right.
For real, I didn't even know what I was apologizing for, other than the fact that I care about you and I hurt your feelings, and I didn't mean to. That wasn't my intention at all. So it was like, forget the details, because not forget them, but sometimes people get into the if this or I'm sorry, but or did it? No. I'm sorry because I care about you, and my intention wasn't to have you out here feeling like that. I wasn't trying to put you in your feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the apology.
Right.
Now, maybe what I said I meant, and like you said, I could have said it differently. But I definitely was not here to hurt you. That's not what I was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? We can start there and we build from there.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that when you can't get, because and I told y'all I have a friend right now. Well, she was my friend. I miss my friend too, y'all. Let me tell you something. Oh, I ain't taking her off the block list either. But I miss my friend, okay? Because I was in her bed and everything. Like, that was my girl. And I saw her in the store, and she was just like, hey, because she know I ain't rocking with her. And I'm not going back. I'm standing 10 toes on it. I miss her. Sometimes you grieve these friends that can no longer be in your life.
Right.
However, it's better her not being in my life than something bad happened and we can't even be in the same store at the same time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to know, like, if the handwriting's on the wall, if people are treating you in a way that you cannot accept, do not accept it. You know what I'm saying? Don't go back and be like, well, I know they didn't mean it, or they were just upset, or, well, next time. No. So for me, I had a conversation with this girl, first time it happened. So months went by. It was almost like a once a quarter thing. Then the next month, some months went by, and then she came on her mouth sideways again, and we were like out with people. And so I'm not one to like check.
Oh.
I come at you, I need you to know that I'm not playing, and this is all me. And I mean what I say. So when I hit you on the side, like in a side conversation, like, hey, yo, we need to talk. However that conversation goes, I need you to know, no, it's just me and me alone, and this is exactly how I feel, 10 toes, and if you need me to pull up, I will. But I'm very so I had to call her, and I just had to tell her, like, oh, no, you can't talk to me like that, and this is why, and it's disrespectful, and da-da-da-da-da. So she brushed it off. She was dismissive. That was a red flag for me, but I hung around a little bit longer because as cancers, we always like to look at the greater good in people.
Cancer gang.
I was like, oh, so you just not going to take no accountability or responsibility and just make me sound like I'm crazy. Oh, okay, but I kept riding the wave. One more strike. I was like, that's it. I had to remove her because if you know yourself well enough, you know what your triggers are. And if you don't know what your triggers are, I would definitely suggest everyone to just take time and get to know themselves, to know what your triggers are, because knowing that is going to lead you to evolve to another phase in your self journey.
Exactly.
But I know what my triggers are. I cannot be around people who and I always say, they laugh at me like, don't play with me, play the lotto, you know what I'm saying? But for real, don't play with me.
Try Jesus.
I'm not in that phase of my life anymore.
Say try
I've
Jesus.
I've already worked on myself to get to a place where I do not have to be petty. I do not have to go back and forth. We're not doing tit for tat. We're not doing none of that. Because everybody's been saying, art is important. Friendship, marriage, whatever. Once you get out of those things, you start to see more clearly. And there's just certain things, people, time, and situations you're just not dealing with. Because life is too short and you've already been through it. You're not doing it again. So once you know what your triggers are, you'll be more aware of like, oh, this handwriting's on the wall. If this keeps happening, then, you're going to result back to old ways, which you have grown from.
Right.
So, all that is to say, exactly, all that is to say, Don't be afraid to lose your friends. Sometimes you miss them. Like, I might, like, sometimes, because we used to joke and stuff a lot, and I'm like, dang, like, I know so-and-so would like this or that, but it's okay. It'll get better. Your peace is important. Your peace of mind is important. Don't be around people who feel like they got to make you the butt of every joke, because that's not a friend. Don't be around people who always got to one-up you, because that's not a friend. Don't be around people that, you know, try to make you look stupid, talking to you like you don't matter. And there are some friends that once you start evolving, you're going to see who your friends really are. Because once you start changing, or say you're leveling up financially, some people need you as a friend to be at this level. Once you start surpassing them, or you seeing eye to eye with them on certain things, it's kind of like a who do you think you are, or why are you switching up type of attitude. So be mindful of that. Your friends, your circle should all be about change, all about evolution. Everybody should be trying to get to the next level. If you're around people who are just comfortable living paycheck to paycheck, some of us are in that situation because we have to be, but you should always be thinking about another way to level up. And if you're the only person in your circle doing that, then you need to find other people to talk to. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to leave them yet, but you need to be looking for a new circle that you can infiltrate into so that you can get wisdom from other people. Because if you're the only one thinking that way in your circle, that means nobody's pouring into you. You're probably the person that's always trying to give ideas and, you know, give the good feedback to everybody else. So you need people that are going to pour into you in your life too, so that way you can level up. So I have different groups of friends. I have friends that I turn up with. I have friends. I have my professionals, my young professionals, and stuff like that. And you know, I have like my, I guess you call it like my spiritual people that keep me grounded and make sure, like, hey, you been in the Word, like what you been doing, you know, because my mom, she's on it. She'll tell me, oh, I could tell you ain't really been. You missing. The Lord looking for you. You missing. You ain't right. It's just easy. But you know, you need different people for all. You know, it's balance. So just make sure that you have a good support system. Make sure everybody has boundaries, because you know it's very important. I'm off my soapbox, so that was a lot.
That's all right. Look, that's what. Go ahead, Alona.
And that is this: we have to realize that sometimes people are in your life for a season, and just like you were saying earlier, people may not necessarily be able to go where you're getting ready to go, and maybe their time is just for now to get them to be open and to understand what the potential of their life could be. Okay, and with that being said, you know, they in that pivotal moment, they have a time to reflect, to say, these people are showing me love, or this person is showing me love, or whatever. So this is my time to say, okay, do I want to still stay in the same cycle, or do I want to grow from where I am to go to this next level with whomever is trying to take me up higher? So people, again, you have to do some self-reflecting.
Yep.
And take a look at yourself on that level.
Start coming in, you guys.
Like I said, people cannot always go with you. I remember I had someone, you were talking about a friend, this person was in my life for over 10 years, and I considered this person a sister. And at the end of the day, I had to end up letting this person go because they tried to involve me in something that doesn't even, you know, pertain to my life. But I had to end up letting them go. And guess what? At the end of the day, I was okay with letting them go. Because that meant that God had something better and more special for me, or people who would be more open to this next level of where He was taking me.
But you know, that's what people hang on to, though. Like, if I've been friends with somebody for 15 years and I changed in my life, but they're still where they're at, a lot of people would be like, well, they've been here for this long, or well, they've seen me through this, or they've seen me through that, or I cried on your shoulder. Yeah, but you're leveling up now. Like you're going to the next phase in your life, and in which they're not going, and that's why a lot of people are stuck where they are, because they're trying to pull into the next phase something that's not supposed to be in this phase with them. So you got to let go of that old. Like I've had friends that I've been through thick and thin with, but because I'm a father now and I have to change some of the ways I do. And they didn't. I can't do that for my child, or I can't show my child that. So, you know, you cool, but you cool from a distance. I just can't rock with you like that no more. So, yeah.
Yes, not everybody is meant to go where you're going.
Exactly. So, you guys, it is 10. I want my other Zoom people to come in. This is what I love about this panel, you guys. We start out with a topic and we go where we need to go. And that's boundaries. And that's boundaries on social media, boundaries in relationships, boundaries in families. I hope that you guys got something that stuck with you. I hope you guys know that, like, I really appreciate this group of people because we can keep it real. And that's what we're going to do. We always going to keep it real on What Women Want Wednesday. So I hope you guys stick and stay and remember, without education, man is a slave, a savage, wandering from here to there, believing whatever he is told. Time and chance come to us all. We can either be hesitant or courageous, but we're going to swiftly stand up and shout, this is our time and place. We will accept the challenge. I love you guys. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.